I didn't get a chance, Mr. Speaker, to speak when Senator Musa Faki spoke earlier on the need for members to show up in committee sittings. And I wish he had actually matched his word with his action, Mr. Speaker, by staying in the chamber long enough. One of the biggest tragedies of this current Senate, Mr. Speaker, and I must say this with a very heavy heart, Mr. Speaker, is that it is extremely empty on most afternoons, Mr. Speaker. I have never seen Parliament as empty as it is. Mr. Speaker, I am used to seeing a Senate where people debate, and not on points of orders, Mr. Speaker, on bills and legislation, Mr. Speaker. That practice has since long disappeared because people have become transactional. They come here, they issue statements and disappear. In fact, Mr. Speaker, it's only that I don't want to name people. But if you see the number of people that bring statements to this house, many afternoon, Mr. Speaker, they consider that to be legislative work. Then you wonder, who is going to process this statement, Mr. Speaker? If everybody was just to come, lay a statement and disappear. Why do people fight so hard to be elected to come to this house, Mr. Speaker, then leave your chairs to be empty? Mr. Speaker, we must also be serious as a legislature. I listened to people lament this afternoon, oh, this is not working, labor, I don't know education, I don't know the other. Mr. Speaker, begin first of all by transacting even that business in this house, Mr. Speaker. This is a premium platform, Mr. Speaker. Millions of Kenyans yearn for the opportunity to sit in the legislature of their republic, Mr. Speaker. I don't understand this new generation of legislators that we have in this current session, Mr. Speaker, that people show up at 2:30 and by 3:15 you cannot see them in the house. Mr. Speaker, I don't think that it is for lack of things to do, Mr. Speaker, that you find many. Look at the experience, for example, Senator Oburu, the youth leader, is serving his 7th term in Parliament, Mr. Speaker.
I have a point of order from Senator Andy Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I raise understanding order number 22. And I hope on this one I want to wish the majority leader the courage to be able to check point of order number 22 and point of order number 23, Mr. Speaker. I do empathize, and Mr. Speaker, because they are very long-standing orders, allow me to speak to them without reading them because they are too long. And the reason why they are too long, Mr. Speaker, is because in this entire, Mr. Speaker, may you protect me from the noise the other side by Senator Cherargei, Mr. Speaker? Just protect me, Mr. Speaker. Because what the majority leader is talking about here is very, very important, Mr. Speaker. And because it's important, Mr. Speaker, the point of orders number 22 and 23 are functional point of orders, Mr. Speaker. They are the point of orders that prescribe functions of leadership of this House, Mr. Speaker. They define the leadership of the majority side and their deputies. They define the leadership of the minority side and their deputies. And they have got functions, including, Mr. Speaker, whipping members of this House to be in this House. Mr. Speaker, is it in order for our whole majority leader, Mr. Speaker, to get up and come here and start lamenting about his members who are not showing up in the House and therefore making the House always empty, Mr. Speaker? Is it an abdication of duty that majority leader, together with his deputy and majority whip and deputy majority whip and even the minority leader, Mr. Speaker, are not doing their work in terms of whipping members of this House to be in this House, Mr. Speaker? Why must we sit as senators, Mr. Speaker?
Senator Andy Okech, have your seat. Resume your seat. If I am the majority leader Kiriari, what he meant about elections, once you're elected, you take personal responsibility. It is not about whipping members to be in the chamber. It is about personal responsibility and duty after you get elected. That is what he meant. And it does not do the work of the whip, which is done by Senator Boni Karwale. Proceed, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I'm struggling to follow what my good friend Senator Eddie is trying to converse because, you know, I never whipped him to put up posters in Migori and ask the people of Migori that he wants to represent them in this house. Therefore, it cannot be my business to whip you as a member of the Senate because I'm a leader in this house to tell you come. Mr. Speaker, I was giving the example of Senator Oburu, a fine gentleman, a revered legislator, serving his 7th term in Parliament. But every afternoon, from 2:30 to as late as possible, sometimes, despite his extremely advanced age, Mr. Speaker, he has the energy to sit in this house. But you find young people, Mr. Speaker, that are in this house who show up for 2 minutes, they pick up their call, they disappear. They are chasing 1,001 things, Mr. Speaker, none of which is exceptional and bringing any value to the country. Mr. Speaker, I thought the rule of life, Mr. Speaker, is that you succeed first at one thing so that you advance to the next level. Therefore, I want to request and humbly plead with my colleagues that, Mr. Speaker, because we have got such a sacred responsibility, and there are many things that the country is looking up to us to resolve, can we find the time to attend House sitting, Mr. Speaker? If you look at the order paper today, Mr. Speaker, you will see more than 20 bills that are the committee of the whole stage, Mr. Speaker, some of which have been on this order paper for more than 5 months, Mr. Speaker, because we cannot raise 24 delegations. Surely, Mr. Speaker, do we need a kamkunji, like we are being invited, Mr. Speaker, that we need to call people to come? These are not budgetary issues, Mr. Speaker. You don't require a budget, Mr. Speaker, for you to do your legislative work. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I don't know what Senator Eddy has eaten before coming into the House, but I am trying to address you, Mr. Speaker. He is actually over shouting, and I cannot concentrate, Mr. Speaker, because of the noise that he's making.
Senator Andy Okech, can you, if you are consulting the senators for a very low tone, mention about terms?
Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want us to take time, look into the issues that are being raised, and be fair to your country, because your country pays you extremely well. We are told many times that you are among the best paid legislators on the planet Earth. Can we also deliver quality work? You know, and just stop, my good friend Senator Kajwang, even as you expose on the challenges that we have in the Republic, it goes beyond just pointing out to the maladies and the challenges that you are facing. And be fair to it. It cannot remain on record what you said this afternoon, that despite the challenges that we have in our education sector, that our education sector produces only house helps. You are not a house help. You went to Moi University together with me. You are here because the education system worked. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, even as we complain about the things that are not working in this country, Mr. Speaker, let us not exaggerate some of these challenges. I believe this country has produced serious professionals on the globe. It's not just housemates, the way Senator Moses Kajwang wanted to paint it, Mr. Speaker. Be fair to your country, Moses Kajwang.
Senator Kajwang, what's your point of intervention?
Mr. Speaker, on matters of fact, I was with Senator Cheriot, Majority Leader, at Moi University, at the Student Center. We went to address a Kamkunji not too long ago, and the students told us the kind of problems that they are facing. And Mr. Speaker, is Senator Cheriot in order? In the morning session, while he was away, he's lambasting members who are not here. While he was away, Senator Cherarkei and Senator Onyonka put the CS for Labor to task, because the CS Labor brought us a schedule showing the jobs that we have exported. Mr. Speaker, it is a fact that report was tabled here, that the president has been gallivanting, going all over the world, and the bulk of the jobs that he has secured are housemaids. It is described there, Mr. Speaker. It is a fact that was tabled here. And Mr. Speaker, it is also a fact that India produces and manufactures technical and IT and computer science experts. And that's why Silicon Valley is dominated by Indians. Mr. Speaker, can the majority leader, even in challenging, yes, we had a good education at Moi University. That's why I'm here. But if we are exporting labor, if that is one of our products, if diaspora remittances are bigger than the returns from coffee and tea, Mr. Speaker, that means that the production of labor is our biggest industry. But
Senator
if
Kajwang.
we are producing house girls, Mr. Speaker, we should be ashamed of it.
Majority Leader, resume your seat.
Speaker, Senator Moses Kajwang has not disputed the fact that I laid bare in the Senate this afternoon that he is misleading this House by claiming that the only labor that Kenya produces is housemaids. That is not a fact, Mr. Speaker. I know for the record, Mr. Speaker, you didn't speak of the percentage. You said only. Where did you learn your English, Moses? Only means 100%, Mr. Speaker. You can see now Mr. Speaker is trying to amend his statement because he knows that he has misled this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is not the point that I'm trying to converse. I know for a fact, Mr. Speaker, that part of the reason why the foreign remittance, Mr. Speaker, is high is because we have serious professionals that we have produced, from doctors to engineers, that are serving all over the world.
Members, order, honorable member. Allow the majority leader to address his point. Proceed, majority leader.
Mr. Speaker,
Senator Korir, Senator Gloria, allow the majority leader to proceed without interruption. Proceed.
Anyway, Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude, and I want to commend the senators that are in the House this afternoon, including my friend Moses Kajwang, longest serving member of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, but always here at 2:30, sits patiently up to 6:30 on most afternoons, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to request Senator Madzayo to second this motion.
Senator Madzayo.
Asante Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika aliposema mwisho kabisa, huo ni ukweli. Bwana Spika, kitu cha kwanza nataka kuunga mkono hoja hii ya kuweza kugeuza ratiba ama taratibu ya kalenda yetu ya nyumba. Bwana Spika, kitu cha kwanza ni kwamba kunazo sababu ambazo zinafanya tuweze kugeuza kalenda hii. Cha kwanza ni kwa sababu tumekuwa ile tarehe ambayo ilikuwa imewekwa katika kupeleka Senate mashinani imeweza kugeuka sasa na ikawekwa tarehe zingine za mwezi wa 11. Bwana Spika, vile vile pia itaweza kupatia nafasi maseneta kuweza kujiandaa na kusafiri kuenda mpaka huko Bungoma ili kuweza kushirikiana na ndugu zao wananchi wa Bungoma kuwa na hiyo ratiba ya Senate mashinani. Bwana Spika, mimi kama nikiwa nitaweza kutoa ule advice ama sijui tunaweza kuita namna gani, lakini ni kwamba katika hili bunge letu la Senate sasa imekuwa ni lazima tuzingatie mambo ya kwamba tuko na seriousness, ya kwamba hizi tabia ambazo tunaanza sasa za kuweza kwamba kuona kama seneta mwenzako anaongea na pengine huwezi kupendelea vile anavyoongea, unasimama mara moja na kusema kwamba ama unabofya kile kibogizo kiko mbele yako, alafu unaweza kusema kwamba unataka kutoa hoja ya nidhamu. Hoja ya nidhamu, Bwana Spika, kama ninavyoelewa mimi katika ile wakati ambao tumekuwa hapa ndani na tumekuwa pamoja na ndugu yangu Cheriot na pia vile vile Kajwang, najua hoja ya nidhamu ni kitu muhimu sana, ambao kumuingilia mtu katikati akiwa anaongea pengine saa nyingine inakuwa inapoteza hata ule mwelekeo ama zile fikra alizokuwa nazo. Kwanza tuweze kujizuia tumuache yule anayekuwa anaongea aongee mpaka amalize, alafu ndio utaweza kujua mwelekeo wake ulikuwa namna gani. Hoja nidhamu ni sawa, lakini tuzitumie kwa njia ya kisawasawa. Hayo ndio maoni yangu ambayo naweza kusema. Na cha mwisho ambacho mimi ninaona ya kwamba ni cha muhimu, Bwana Spika, hivi sasa tutaenda katika Senate mashinani, tutakuwa na watu wengi kule na ukiangalia hapa ndani hivi sasa utapata ya kwamba maseneta walioko hapa pengine ni kidogo kuliko ile nambari inatakana kuwa. Tumekuwa hapa nikikumbuka kama ile Senate ya kwanza ya mwaka wa 2013, Bwana Spika, ilikuwa inajaa sana mpaka ikifika saa 12:30 bado watu wamejaa, bado maseneta wamejaa ndani ya chambers sana. Ni ukweli kabisa, na ukweli ukisemwa saa nyingine inakuwa ni uchungu. Ni ukweli kabisa, ndani ya hii Senate tukiangalia hivi tunaona tumepoteza mwelekeo. Naomba ndugu zangu, ni muhimu sana kuona ya kwamba tukiwa hapa ndani tunajifundisha na tunajua, wale ambao wamekuja hivi sasa waweze kujua. Tukama Boni Halwale uketi hapa mpaka mwisho kila siku, hiyo hatuwezi kataa. Ndugu yangu Sifuna pia anaketi hapa mpaka mwisho, hatuwezi kataa hiyo. Kwa hiyo nataka pia kuuliza wale wengine, haswa wale maseneta wapya, kwamba wamekuja ni lazima waweze kujua. Hata Senator Gloria pia yuko pale, uketi sengine mpaka mwisho ukiwa kuna sababu, lakini ana zile tabia zingine ambazo anaingia hapa ndani sitaendelea pande hiyo, lakini usije na vile vitisho vyako hapa vya kuvaa sijui namna gani, umepaka sijui rangi gani. Bwana Spika, mimi nataka kusema tu kwamba naunga mkono ndugu yangu alivyoleta hii hoja ya kwamba sisi tuweze kugeuza ile kalenda, na nafikiri itakuwa ya matumizi zaidi. Asante Bwana Spika.